Anyway, game number 2. Will 007 close it out, or will we be forced to go into a game 3? Oh, and the forfeit of 07 is accurate. They brought a banned ship into the game.
What?
What?
That I'm being told that by Sinistar. Anyway, GGWP has brought in the following. We're getting only 2 DDs here, which this map is probably one you can get away with that. Gearing and a Daring. Interesting not to see anything with tons of torpedoes like a Shimakaze or a French DD with the ability to gunboat, but that's their choice. Then it's double Moskva, Stalingrad, and a Des Moines and a Worcester for an absolute smorgasbord of cruisers, along with the Yamato and the Kremlin.
Yeehaw. Over on 007 side, we've got double Conqueror. What? Then we got quintuple Moskva. Oh man, belief in the Russian wall is real. And double Kleber. Definitely not a diversity as our strength comp, as they go straight down the line per class.
And, well, this is the Iron Curtain, if the Iron Curtain was slightly larger. But still, quintuple Moskva is disgusting.
I mean, this is a light you on fire, gun you down from distance, screw caps, go for kills comp.
So can I ask, can we call this the Fire Curtain? Yuck yuck.
Yeah. That is such an accurate statement, though.
Well, if we do look, 007 has both Klebers kicking in the afterburner and going wide, hopefully able to grab an early C and an early A to make use of their supersonic speed in the Kleber. Meanwhile, they look to have a fairly even split as Conqueror and a bunch of Moskvas go left, Conqueror and some Moskvas go right. What's going on over with GGWP?
Well, the Daring is going straight into B, which is going to be a big advantage because he's going to have that with nothing there to contest. Gearing is going to go to her C, where he's going to run into Eagle Lance, which is not a fight I would like to take. Yamato and Worcester hang to C, and this Worcester is taking a very interesting line to C. He's not going behind the island with the Yamato. He's going straight through the gap, taking the line to... It looks like he's going to end up in E6 or 7, so I'll have to watch. Is he going to go for that island on B? There's a potential. Stalingrad and Des Moines are going for opposite sides of the island that sits at E5, D5. So there's a lot of cruiser presence in the mid here for GGWP. And then there's the exploratory Russian expeditionary force of the double Moskva Kremlin kind of drifting towards A.
Game Prodigy, what do you think of all these assets happening over in Bravo by GGWP? Do you think they're going to be able to hold space, or do you think they're going to be giving it away?
Well, so the only reason why you put so many people at B is you're attempting a pick here, and you're hoping. I mean, typically you're hoping that they're bringing some DD in, and you're going to be able to pick them off. I don't think that that's going to be the case here, obviously, and well, we know that because they've gone wide on the outside with Kleber, and they should have known that by the caps ticking off. But I think their Des Moines and their Stalin are kind of stuck at this point. So you've given up A and C for B.
Well, the interesting thing here, and I think what we're about to see as I watch GGWP, is I think we're going to see the Daring rotate to C, and they're going to put a Gearing Daring challenge on C. Because you can have the Des Moines and the Stalingrad just keep B locked up. The Stalingrad's also in a prime position to radar. How much of A can he radar? The Stalingrad can radar all the way to where... The Stalingrad can radar almost to the edge of... he can radar to behind the island in the middle of A. So he's got a pretty big radar range right now. But we'll have to see what happens with this Daring that's transferring towards C. This could be really brutal if that Gearing, that Daring pincer on the Kleber at the same time.
And the more I look at this, do you remember when we saw double Des Moines pincering the two outsides? That's what they're doing.
And sorry, but the Conqueror just took 19k. Soviet Baguette just got yammied.
They're going to move both of these Moskvas down the 1 line and the 10 line, and they're just going to try and strangle them.
Yeah, it looks like the double Moskva is making that move, but it's still going to take a while. And we do see Amatsukaze dumping some torps, looking for some angles behind that island. The Gearing is playing super safe, looking potentially to be able to smoke the Sage Liev, but not committing south. Same thing with Amatsukaze, not committing south. I don't think either of these DDs can take a Kleber in a 1v1, especially not while his reload booster is up, and certainly not under the guns of a Conqueror, even though he took a 20k hit. None of those torps are going to connect. I don't see any movement happening here. I don't know if GGWP is making forward progress or if they're just trying to reposition. I'm not seeing the next step.
Yeah, I'm watching A, where the Kremlin double Moskva is going to run into triple Moskva Conqueror, and the one thing I'm noticing is where are the crossfires coming from, and I'm guessing that's where Ducky and Phasey come in, because they're the only thing that's going to be able to get a cross shot anywhere with Moskva Kremlin basically sticking together. But it should be interesting. They're going to be able to fight these Moskvas.
Oh, Darren Kleber fight breaks out.
Yeah, DD versus DD. Kleber's going to have that reload booster, and I'm sure he's taking full advantage of it. Eagle Lance, not a slouch in the aiming department. How long does he want to stay lit in front of a Wooster? That's kind of the question. He's got the shots out. The Daring is actually broken smoke, which I believe should keep Eagle Lance safe. And while Eagle took half his health, so did the Daring, but the Daring's got to heal. That being said, even though the Kleber lost some health, he's still got a saturation mechanic that's going to give him almost another health bar, going from half down to dead. Still able to be a threat, and his reload booster is going to be cycling right now. Kind of wish we had the Gearing and the Daring trying to make a play right now, but Yoshi's taking some shells, even though he's off on the C line.
Well, we're finally seeing the first movement from GGWP. Phasey has moved over to the next island. He is going to be able to do it safely, because the one thing this comp is lacking is spotting. The Klebers are both behind the island, and they've got to realize that the Moskvas and Conquerors are relying on GGWP to actually get into the Moskvas' detect range or start shooting. So
sorry. And Moskva's just got chunked. He's down to 26k, and he's still getting woostered over at the C cap.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Looks like Toxic Symphony is starting to reverse, try to pull back. There is a Des Moines that has some shots on him, but he's not taking those shots. Right now, he is just getting woostered, exactly as stated. Under the guns of a Yamato is not a good place to be. Over at the one line is double Moskva versus Moskva Kremlin. That's a lot of Moskvas, friends. And Dyer, as well as I Love All Ships, took some pretty decent ship damage and then pointed their nose away from the A cap. Mad Dog is pushed off, but there is no threat of A being claimed by GGWP. Looks like Arc Zero and the Kremlin's going to try to force a play, but he's forcing against not only two bow-in Moskvas, there's a Moskva in Walked and Woaded that's going to have some pretty decent angles when he comes around that corner, as well as double Conqueror. Both the Conquerors have rotated on top of each other.
And there goes to Moskva. Yeah. That's big.
Now they need to push C, like. And we saw earlier the Gearing is all the way on the 10 line. The Yami is all the way on the 10 line. The Wooster's on the 9 line. So they've got to clean these up quickly and be able to cycle over to be able to get cross shots on these Conquerors and Moskvas.
Darren Kleber
Kleber's in a fight.
breaking up. Yep. This is not the fight that Kleber wants to take right now when you've got a Wooster that's in range to hit you. Sure, you have the saturation, but the Daring's got smoke, and you're just going to get woostered for a while.
I actually think the Gearing and the Daring need to change places. Well, the Gearing needs to move, period. They need to get the Daring a little safe and have the Gearing start to spot.
Yeah, Gearing is playing escort for the Wooster and not getting anything out of it. The Wooster wasn't the reason the Moskva died, although he certainly did chip damage. The Wooster isn't the reason that the Eagle Lance is playing safe, because he just ran away and dodged all the shells. If they could get that Gearing out on the map and making plays and taking caps, that would be great. But right now, A is still locked in the Octan 007's favor, as is Bravo now, because the Kleber took Bravo, as there's no DD that's mid. What are they going to do?
Well, it's going to start with Desert Rat.
We've said this is a kill comp, and yet they have caps. Like, you got to give them credit for that. Desert Rat is definitely going down here.
Yeah, and that's a significant push. I don't know if Judge gets out of that either. So yeah, it's a 2-cap lead and 150 points for the side of... Oh my goodness, and that Kleber just got slapped by Stalingrad. But yeah, it's a 50-point lead now. It was 100 points. It's a 50-point lead, and you have the caps. But how long does that last?
While Ducky Shot's moving into B, slowly starting to cap it. There's some torps out at him, but A, there's nothing happening in A. So it's 10 minutes into the game. It's 600 roughly points each, and the kill comp is getting turned on its head. GGWP has a 50-some thousand HP advantage.
That is true against all of the Moskvas. And we have to remember the Conquerors haven't taken a lot of damage, and they've got a lot of healing in their back pocket. Right now, Arch Zero's push forward did make the play, did seal the kill on a Moskva, but he's showing an awful lot of broadside to both a Conqueror and a Moskva on 007's team. Walked and Woaded's constantly pumping shells, and it looks like just now the Kremlin of Arch Zero was able to get free of those incoming shells from a Conqueror. Don't really connect, but Arch has taken a fair amount of damage, but the damage was done, breaking one of the two Moskvas on the one line and leaving them gone. 007 down to one Moskva on the one line and one Moskva on the 9 line, with some Conquerors kind of finding places in the middle. They are up by 80 points. Gone. Yeah, they're up 80 points, but Bravo's about to be taken by a Daring that's back on the map, back taking caps again. Looks like this might be a bit of a turn here.
And I mean, once the Moskva goes down here, which is going to go down, it's how much damage can he get on the Wooster before he goes down? Because, like, and that's a significant chunk.
That was a lot of damage on the Wooster, yeah.
But the Moskva goes down, but even if the Wooster goes down, okay, C is kind of in an awkward position. You've got a full health Gearing versus a 9,000 health Kleber, with the Yamato shooting at the Kleber. Does he hit? Survey says just misses, and you've got the Daring at B, and you're up by 3 ships right now. That is a significant advantage, and it's about to be another ship, make that 4 when the Moskva of Judge goes down, and he's at 5,800 and trying to heal, but also being burned down.
Yeah, he's got 2 Moskvas on top of each other, just raining HE shells into this dude over and over and over. Sage, the Wooster, does go down, but that unleashes the Gearing. No longer stuck next to a Wooster, he's able to go run and potentially run down the Kleber of Eagle Lance. Might take him a while to get there because the Kleber's got afterburners, but something's going to happen, and most likely the next thing to happen is Judge going to the bottom of the water. Shells out, though, into the Moskvas. Blitzstorm, and the Conqueror's pushing up.
Well, and Judge, I think, has done his job. He's lived long enough for the Moskva and the Conqueror to basically pincer all these Moskvas. And there's big citadels, double, if not triple citadels on I Love All ships. He's going to have to back up, and he's going to back up into the waiting arms of
Dyer. Dyer's being just shoved out like a sacrificial lamb towards the Conqueror right now. They're literally, I Love All ships in Arch Zero just were like, here, let's push you forward. You have the health.
Well, and the Walked and Woaded has turned, and he's going to have broadside on these Moskvas. Close in points. They've got B. They've got C. They technically don't need this fight.
Arch is going to ram here.
They need the Kremlin to ram the Conqueror. Yep. And there's the Moskva, but those shots don't hit, and the Conqueror, he's going to miss. He's going to miss. He misses.
Now that being said, the Moskva's going to hammer this Conqueror with citadels. He's going to get at least one more set off here.
Oh my dear goodness!
Oh my goodness, the Moskva
Conqueror gets so nailed, but he's going to start printing himself a new ship. But that can't happen when the repair party gets blown to Kingdom Come. Now it's Dyer with 1,600 health. One heck of a dire situation. I Love All ships, loves shells too. He got a Citadel collection. He's got it hanging up in the middle of his ship. Unfortunately, that cost him quite a lot of health to buy that. He's down to 10k against Walked and Woaded with 58. We got a Kleber of Mad Dog heading over to Bravo, only to find a Daring and a Des Moines moving in his direction. That's a whole bunch of no fun. GGWP close to 07, only a 20-point difference, holding 2 caps to 1. It's going to come down to what's going on with Walked and Woaded and this Gearing.
Kleber spotted. He's dead. That's big. That's big that the Kleber goes down right there.
Yes, that's huge.
Because
down goes Frazier.
That leaves them with Mad Dog and a Kleber. If the Daring doesn't take these torps, which it looks like he's dodging, he's going to stop the cap, and it'll start ticking up. I mean, I Love All ships hopefully is going to try to probably just go for the ram here, but...
Yep, here comes.
Here comes the charge.
Moskva can't do enough damage here. Yeah, no.
Yep, that's...
Now this... Okay, those are citadels, and boom. We don't see the wonky I ram a ship and live mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like
And-
GGWP is up by 80, but Soviet Baguette is pinched between a Gearing and a Yamato and a whole bunch of no fun. He might have access to his heal, but he's not healing yet, which means it is on cooldown. Shells coming out from Yamato. This is probably even more points to GGWP.
Yeah.
Absolutely 920 to 676, and not a lot left over on 007 side.
And there's not. This game is over, and I mean, with a pretty strong comeback, you have to say, for GGWP to win. They won not one, but both sides of that fight on the outside, which is insane when you think about it. But, ladies and gentlemen, whether the Colbert dies because he gets hit by shells or because the points tick in 15 seconds, we are going to game 3. There's the kill. GGWP ties it up and sends us to the tiebreaker. Which team's going to go through? We'll have to wait and see.